His birthday was also the day he died. Zhou Jinheng treated the fool as a toy to vent his anger. But the little fool saw him as his destined soulmate. Even before dying, he sent a message. Happy birthday, husband. They say feelings come too late like grass meeting in autumn. Zhou Jinheng realized it too late. Tears filled his eyes. The little fool would never come back. The little fool, this life was too hard. Perhaps even the heavens cried red eyes for him. They gave him a chance to live again. But he could only borrow a body to return his soul. From then on, the world lost a fool. And gained a Jiang Yihue with the memories of a little fool. Yihue woke up from a nightmare. Startling the girl next to him. Why did you jump up like that? You scared me to death. The woman beside him stepped forward to comfort him. Did you have a nightmare again? Don't be afraid. Mom is here. It's been half a month since waking up, Jiang Yihue still couldn't adapt to this body. The original owner committed suicide due to depression. And he wanted to live for the former owner. Mom, can you help me cut my hair? I want to change my hairstyle. Faced with her son's sudden change, the mother was still a bit uneasy. Once it's cut, it won't grow back. Are you sure? At this moment, his younger sister Mang spoke up to their mother. Mom, he struggled to make this decision. Don't try to persuade him anymore. It might reduce 3,000 strands of trouble. Is his illness completely cured? After cutting his hair, Yi Hui discovered that this look now resembled his previous life by 8 or 9 parts. Mom, I want to participate in a painting competition you mentioned. The deadline was half a month ago. The lead actor of this year's Golden Flower Award goes to Zhou Jingheng. He was wondering why the little fool didn't call him on this important day. Could it be he was at home preparing a surprise for him? Fool, only knows how to use those useless little tricks. But when he flew back home, he was angry because he didn't see the little fool. Really capable, never come back. I can only say one thing. As you wish. Then Zhou Jingheng went to the bar to drink. When he came out drunk, he met his good friend Yang Qingxian. You came just in time to take me home. Your expression is off. Did you have a fight with the little young master? At this moment, Zhou Jingheng could still stiffly say, he matches with me. In a couple of days, he'll come back crying and begging. Zhou Jingheng wasn't worried at all that something might happen to the little fool. If something happened, his brother would have come to find me long ago. By the way, I only have one piece of news. Fang Yuqing is coming back from abroad. Zhou Jingheng was a smart person. If you joke with him, you won't get away with it. The next day, Zhou Jingheng met his first love as planned. But for some reason, the little fool's smile kept appearing in his mind. After telling the other party he was married, it was Fang Yuqing instead. It seemed like he couldn't let go of the past with Zhou Jingheng anymore. Zhou Jingheng couldn't wait to call the little fool again. Occasionally lowering his head wasn't impossible after all, arrogant. But at this moment, Cheng Feiqi called. Asking where Yi Hui was. This person was his half-brother. How would I know? His mother left him so many assets, he must be enjoying himself somewhere. Impossible. I had someone check all the properties under his name. You are his partner. When was the last time he contacted you? Half a month ago. Didn't he go to find a good brother like you? Cheng Feiqi scratched his head sadly. I was on a business trip abroad at the time. But I received a message. He said, brother, he treats me well. Don't worry about me anymore. Zhou Jingheng was stunned. But his phone couldn't reach him. He had been out of contact for a long time. Zhou Jingheng was furious on the phone. Yi Hui couldn't stop his tears from falling. I'm not here anymore. Who will make you angry? Although Yi Hui used to be not very smart, equivalent to a child, he didn't cry much. But for some reason, as long as Zhou Jingheng was around, he always couldn't bear it. On a sunny afternoon, Yi Hui was sitting in a corner drawing. His mother was said to be dying. She said she wanted to see spring flowers. How could he not fulfill his mother's wish? The more anxious he got, the more his hand holding the pen trembled. At this moment, a shadow blocked the light. Most of the light shone in from the window. Just like in a fairy tale. The unique burst of youth seemed to have entered the little fool's world. Along with the fragrance of spring flowers, it was cherished together by the little fool. Excuse me, my name is Zhou Jingheng. This is a secret between us. Don't tell anyone. Jumping out of the memory, let's return to the present timeline. The painting competition was held at the art building of a university in Shijiao. Just in time, it was like Yi Mang's idol was also having a concert today. So, she secretly took Yi Hui out of the hotel. I'm telling you, don't stop me. It's not easy to come to the capital. I have to meet him. But Mom is still waiting for us at the hotel. I came here to participate in a competition. We must arrange the time properly. Yang Yi Mang turned around and smiled upon hearing this. I think you look the same recently. A few days ago, you were still eating and bathing, today, you know how to arrange your time properly. Fool. At this moment, not knowing how to respond, I'll just say what you're nervous about. As the words fell, a black commercial vehicle was approaching. It stopped in front of the hotel. There were a few people who looked like security personnel. Coming out of the hotel. He's here. I love you like a lightning strike. Yi Mang's idol turned out to be Zhou Jingheng. If you can't find the person, don't come to see me anymore. He was holding a mobile phone to his ear with his right hand. Looking dejected, it seemed he was angry with someone on the phone. I'm not here anymore. Who will make you angry, brother? What's going on? Listen. Wipe it away. Don't know when your cheeks are full of tears. Don't worry. He just got sand in his eyes. Zhou Jingheng was on the phone. Dad, stop talking nonsense with me. Have you ever seen Yi Hui? He is my partner. As a father-in-law, how would I know? You two haven't registered your marriage. Legally, he is not your partner yet. After finding Yi Hui, bring him home once, the big shots in the industry. Still rely on the Yi family's connections. Hanging up the phone, Zhou Jingheng's face turned gloomy. Son, I'm just the best tool in your hand. In his dream, Zhou Jingheng dreamed of the little fool returning. Husband, Hui Hui was wrong, can you forgive Hui Hui? Not only did he say he would never leave him again, but he also made clouds and rain with him in the dream, reaching a warm distance. At that moment, a call came in, bringing the process back to reality. Calling at 4 a.m., do you have a problem? Young Master Zhou, we found young Master Yi. On a mountain in the suburbs of S. Hearing this, Zhou Jingheng rubbed his temples furiously. The pain at his temples, what else did you say? Hurry up and bring him back. The other side hesitated a bit. No, we can't bring him back. On Qing Mountain in the northern suburbs of the city, the body has been found. The feeling of deep regret came too late. That little fool who filled his heart and eyes would never return. On the night of his birthday, the first to arrive at the scene were Cheng Feiqi and Yi Qin. I'm sorry, Mr. Cheng. The cause of your brother's death was due to lack of oxygen and hypothermia, causing cardiac arrest. At this moment, Zhou Jingheng also arrived. He desperately tried to rush in but was stopped. I am Yi Hui's family. Let me in. When Cheng Feiqi saw him, he angrily grabbed him. Gripping Zhou Jingheng's collar, he delivered a heavy blow. Zhou Jingheng, get out of here. We don't need you pretending here. How did he die? Don't you know? Zhou Jingheng's mind went blank. His heart was also empty. No way. He can't be dead. Yi Qin held back Cheng Feiqi, who still wanted to hit him. There's no need to waste your energy on this kind of person. Xiao Hui is still waiting for us. Zhou Jingheng knelt and crawled to grab Cheng Feiqi. Please, let me see him. Just 5 minutes. In a trembling voice, Zhou Jingheng begged for 5 minutes. Xiao Hui's last call was to you. If you had given him 5 minutes, he wouldn't have died alone on this desolate mountain. His eyes were full of you. How could you do this? But I am his fiancé. You can't stop me. I must see him. Yi Qin's temper flared up too. Fiancé, you think you're worthy? The engagement is cancelled. From now on, don't bother our brother anymore. Then, ignoring Zhou Jingheng, they went to handle the funeral arrangements. This is the last painting of the victim. Hearing this, Zhou Jingheng looked. It was a portrait. The person in the picture had a high nose, deep eyes, and a proud mouth, like nothing in the world could match him. Husband, this year on your birthday, I will give you a big surprise. At this moment, Zhou Jingheng finally realized. He was the real fool. Before thinking of talking to Cheng Feiqi, he was good to me. From now on, don't worry about me anymore. The little fool, until his death, dated him in the silliest way. He didn't bother him. He didn't let anyone else trouble him either. His little fool really couldn't come back anymore. After vomiting blood for 3 hours, Zhou Jingheng woke up again, already in the hospital. In his coma, he dreamed of Yi Hui. He saw Yi Hui sitting alone in a corner. In the cramped room, he was the only one there. He clutched the screen, lighting it up every 2 minutes to check the time. What thoughts were in his mind? It wasn't easy to wait until 1 o'clock. He hurriedly opened the phone interface to dial a number, calling someone named husband. No one answered on the other side. Every time he hung up, his face turned pale. Until he said, "Happy birthday, husband." The first thing Zhou Jingheng asked when he woke up was, "Where is my Yi Hui?" Yang Qingxian, peeling fruit, said, after handling the judicial process, he was taken back to the capital by Cheng Feiqi. At this moment, other friends nearby made sarcastic remarks. What's called a timely death, out with the old, in with the new, what fool could never match Zhou Jingheng? At this point, Zhou Jingheng couldn't hear anyone bad-mouthing Yi Hui. Who are you calling a fool? When did Zhou Jingheng's affairs become your business to comment on? Seeing this, Yang Qingxian directly drove everyone away. Do you know how to talk? Get out. Don't come if there's nothing important. Then he went to comfort Zhou Jingheng. You can't blame them, you usually ignored Yi Hui. Everyone in the circle thought you hated him. No one expected, as soon as Yi Hui died, you'd react so strongly. After saying this, Zhou Jingheng became angry again. At this moment, a call came in. Is this Mr. Zhou's residence? This is Holiday Hotel on Hongming Island. We have a honeymoon schedule for Mr. Zhou and Mr. Yi Hui. The honeymoon was scheduled for the 22nd of last month, but you two didn't show up. The phone left couldn't be reached either. Do you want to reschedule? Or cancel? Hanging up the phone, Zhou Jingheng pulled out the 4, I am 22 this year, I can get married now. Yang Qingxian hurriedly stopped him, are you crazy? Why would you marry a dead person? Besides, don't you have no proof of your relationship? He reminded, Zhou Jingheng remembered something, I am 22 this year. I can get married. Besides, he is not dead. He must be waiting for me on Hongming Island. He always said he wanted to go, I can't miss it this time. Sadder than death is silence. When Zhou Jingheng read Yi Hui's letter on the honeymoon flight, he was all alone. He remembered 3 years ago, Yi Hui sat beside him, his small face pale from the sound of the plane taking off. Hey, is it really that scary? How did you usually fly? Yi Hui trembled as he spoke, I used to close my eyes. Hold tight and endure a bit, and it'll pass. Now that I have you, I can hold you. Mom, why does that man keep talking to the empty seat next to him? So weird. When they arrived at the honeymoon destination, it was personally supervised by Mr. Yi Hui. Zhou Jingheng wanted to smile but couldn't. Rows of candles and large red petals burned into his vision. Seeing the envelope and pair of rings on the bed, there was something that Zhou Jingheng couldn't fathom. My dear husband, happy birthday. Do you like this trip? Do you remember? We've been married for 3 years. Time flies. Many things have changed, but many things haven't. For example, I still love you very much, that hasn't changed. Not one bit. My brother says. Without a marriage registration, we're not a real family. So I decided to propose to you. I wanted to wait for you to speak first, but you're so busy. What if you forget? Since I'm older than you, I'll propose to you. Are you ready? It's about to start. Mr. Zhou Jingheng, please marry me. Yi Hui loves you. Zhou Jingheng felt his heart tighten, his chest swell, breathing difficult. It turns out there's a poison called Yi Hui. It had already penetrated his heart, beyond rescue. He raised his hands to cover his face, tears kept falling, just falling, as if enduring for so long, finally allowed release through this darkness. On the other side of the world, Yi Hui had just finished his own competition entry. Habit is a terrifying thing. Why always think of that person? Was it because he used to draw too much? Teacher, I'm submitting my work. He handed over the paperwork and quickly ran with a wave of the photo clip on his back. He didn't want to stay in the capital city even a moment longer. But things didn't go as he wished. Jiang Yi Hui's entire life seemed to block his path. Wait for me. Zhou Jingheng, why didn't you respond when I called you? Yi Hui's face was confused, who are you? I'm Tang Wenxi. For years of university, you don't remember me? Yi Hui thought for a moment, realizing he was a classmate of the original owner. Staying with him for long would surely expose him, so he found an excuse to run away. But Tang Wenxi put an arm around his shoulders, locking him in place. How long has it been since we last met? Let's have a meal together. In a moment when he didn't know what to do, someone who shouldn't be there appeared. Wenxi, what are you doing? Everyone's waiting for you. Thank goodness. Someone had finally come to his rescue. But looking up, he was stunned. The other person was also stunned. Hadn't he already recognized the person who came? It was Zhou Jingheng's good friend, Yang Qingxian. Yi Hui dared to bow his head, obviously very cautious. Why did he still run into someone related to Zhou Jingheng? Thinking of this, he didn't dare stay any longer. My mom and sister are waiting for me. I'll go first. Watching the figure walk away, Yang Qingxian found it unbelievable, even unimaginable. After returning from the island vacation, Zhou Jingheng threw himself into work. He had to work continuously, to ease the sadness and emptiness. Fate is strange. Yi Hui, carrying his suitcase, phone in hand, passed by Zhou Jingheng on his way. Just like that, not even a harmonious encounter, inexplicably attracted Zhou Jingheng's gaze. Yi Hui, I know you're alive. Meeting again as if by fate, will it repeat the sad ending from before? The moment the little fool appeared was like a guiding light in the night, like the sun melting the snow in winter. Zhou Jingheng watched the retreating figure. Desperate, he chased after him. Countless fans saw the idol turn his head and crowded towards Zhou Jinghen. Surrounded by people, he couldn't move. Countless love letters and gifts were directed at him. As a special little soul, he hurriedly cleared the scene. Today is Mr. Zhou's private journey. Please understand. The whole process took only a few seconds. When he looked up, Yi Hui had already disappeared. He retrieved the airport camera footage. Behind a stone pillar in the corner of the airport lobby, Yi Hui leaned against the wall, clutching his backpack, biting his lip, his round eyes wide with shock. In the airport surveillance room, Zhou Jinghen focused on a screen, paused it there. The screen was frozen and zoomed in, but the camera was too high. The image wasn't clear. He could barely see the curry-colored knit sweater and the mismatched blue inner shirt. It's Yi Hui. Quickly, check his flight information for me, Zhou Jinghen was certain. On the side, Xiaolin watched for a long time. The suspicious person is not Mr. Yi. There are thousands of people in the world, countless similar faces. Even stars have lookalikes. You mistook someone else. Zhou Jinghen couldn't hear this. I've been with Yi Hui for so long. Every little movement of Yi Hui, his little expressions, cannot escape my eyes. I can never be mistaken. After saying this, he turned to leave. Xiaolin, exasperated, raised his voice, wake up. Mr. Yi will be buried tomorrow. You can't keep deceiving yourself. Zhou Jinghen suddenly stopped. It was as if he'd been struck. As if he'd suddenly been awakened from a dream. He opened his mouth, all the previous joy and excitement vanished, leaving only boundless confusion in his eyes. At that moment, his phone rang. Mr. Zhou Jinghen, this is the S-City police station. There has been new progress in the case of Mr. Yi Hui's murder. The suspect has a social connection with you. We need your cooperation in the investigation. At the police station, he found 3 people who had been at the hospital before. They pushed each other, each blaming the other. We just wanted to tease him. We didn't mean to lock him in. It was the moment of excitement when you yelled the loudest. You clearly locked the door. You told him to wait there. How could I know he was so stupid? He couldn't even make a rescue call. Mr. Zhou, the investigation is complete. Their act of involuntary manslaughter has nothing to do with you. Manslaughter is not enough. I want them to pay. He said as he smashed the chair in his hand. The 3 on the other side of the room were shattered, crying and calling for their mothers. Continuously admitting their fault, we saw you hate Yi Hui. So we wanted to vent for you. We really know we were wrong. Words of remorse should be spoken to Hui Hui. In an instant, the whole police station was in chaos. With a slap in the face, Zhou Jinghen was already handcuffed. You've got quite the guts. Even dare to strike inside the police station. Chairman Zhou's work is busy, yet he has time to manage me. Father Zhou coldly said, let the past go. Yi Hui was ill-fated, not destined to be with you. The family is currently cooperating with Tan's company. They have a young son. In a few days, arrangements will be made for you to meet. At this moment, how could Zhou Jinghen date someone else? No one could replace Yi Hui. I will only marry him in this life. Nonsense. How can the living marry the dead? I know you're speaking out of anger. Back then, being with Yi Hui made you suffer grievances. Now the engagement is automatically cancelled. No one will mention it outside. Just follow the arrangements. Grievances? What grievances? Back then, Yi Hui helped revive the Zhou Corporation. We should be grateful. How can we easily forget him? His last distress call was to me. I am the biggest culprit in his death. Entering the path of yin and yang, it is difficult to return forward. In the previous life, lying on his lap, calling him little fool, husband, never again. Zhou Jinghen, your love and hatred have nothing to do with Jiang Yi Hui in this life. The story is Yi Hui's. Returning to town, Yi Hui made an appointment with Dr. Lu first. I can't draw people anymore. A specific person. Do you want to avoid him or forget him? After his thoughts were broken by one sentence, he fell into a long silence. His drooping eyelashes fluttered quickly, showing his inner tension and struggle. Now, he didn't respond. Dr. Lu changed his approach. Do you want to abandon the past, or do you want to plug your ears like before? Secretly observing him where others can't see, I thought he wouldn't appear in my life again, but I met him again. Unable to make judgments and choices, he became anxious. Now, with a brain 100 times smarter than before, he should be able to figure everything out. But this issue seemed like it was on a cliff, beyond his handling capacity. Many fragmented images flashed before his eyes. His brain overloaded, signaling an overload warning. Finally, Dr. Lu interrupted his thoughts. If you are eager to escape his influence on you, I can help. But only if you tell me frankly. Yi Hui finally understood. In this life, he didn't want to sit and wait for others. He would not repeat the same mistakes. Zhou Jingheng's love and hatred have nothing to do with Jiang Yi in this life. Doctor, I must wait for him. Then start again. Thus, another half-month passed. Today, Zhou Jingheng was filming. Recalling the past with the little fool, at that time, the little fool always took advantage of him sleeping, laying on the bed, holding his hand. Softly clinging to his palm. Mumbling, my lifeline is very long, much longer than yours, but the love line is a bit short. But it's okay. I'll help you touch it a bit, then blow on it, it will get longer. At that time, Zhou Jingheng scornfully laughed. What do you know about love? The little fool blushed and danced for half a day. I know, I just want to be with you every day. I can't sleep if you don't hold me. Every day you hug a teddy bear to sleep, do you love it too? The little fool was scared at that moment. Quickly explained that it was different. It's my friend. You are my husband. The last few words made his face completely red. This appearance could always evoke in Zhou Jingheng almost wicked desires in his body. Suddenly, a cable snapped, pulling Zhou Jingheng back to reality. Mr. Zhou, be careful. The image of the transferred person was already pulled down for treatment. You really can't make people worry. Even filming, you turn yourself into this. It's just a small injury. Has there been any result in what I asked you to investigate? No, in the circle besides Qing Feiqi, no one knows where Yi Hui was buried. It seems the eldest young master has a steel heart wanting to cut ties with you. But don't be discouraged. We still have Fang Yuqing, right? This weekend, his work will be exhibited at the Kyoto Art Museum. Let's go support him. No, I have to work. Is your family about to go bankrupt? Do you need to earn money from the entertainment industry to save it? Seeing you so busy. I can't control myself when I'm free. Saying this, he took out his phone and looked at the lock screen. I miss Yi Hui, I miss him so much I could go crazy. On the side, Yang Qingxian sighed. Brother, if you had known today, why were you so cruel to Yi Hui at the beginning? It's too late to realize your heart now. On the other side, a mother and daughter were discussing what to eat to celebrate. Yi Hui won the gold medal in the drawing competition. At this moment, the sister was busy shouting excitedly, what are you saying inside? Such a handsome face. What if it's ruined? Yi Hui was surprised after hearing this. Didn't he never accept action scenes involving flying back and forth? He used to be scolded by anti-fans for this. Yi Hui, what's with your expression? Isn't your idol, Jihang, handsome? Yi Hui smiled at his sister. Handsome. Even more handsome than me 10,000 times. Yi Hui quietly lowered his head. Now hearing news about him wouldn't scare him anymore. Someday, he would completely see him as a stranger. Then he comforted his sister a few words. At this moment, Tang Wenxi called. Yi Hui, have you authorized the Kyoto Art Museum yet? They want to display your award-winning painting. How can that be? That's my work. I don't agree. I'm going to the capital immediately. This was the first time Zhou Jingheng truly felt it. Losing and recovering has a greater impact than dying and resurrecting. The story is more powerful. It's a deep abyss in the days without Yi Hui. In the midnight dreams, he could always hear Yi Hui's voice. That was their first date. This teddy bear is so cute. I'll keep it at home. Hug it every day. By the way, can you tell me what you like? I like quietness. It would be best if we could build a house in the wild mountains later. No one to disturb us. Alright, when I sell my paintings and have money, I'll build a small house on Qingdai Mountain. Will you come visit? Yes, Yi Hui died there. All because of that foolish promise. In countless dreams, he wanted to save him. But it always ended as moon in the water, flowers in the mirror. Awake, Zhou Jingheng now understood. The reason Yi Hui liked to sleep with the teddy bear was because it was a gift from him. He liked to keep white snowflakes. Because Yi Hui liked the color white. The small house alone in the wild mountains was also because of a casual story he had once told. He loved him for 3 years, and I took advantage of him. Deceived him, hurt him. I am indeed a stupid, arrogant bastard. Back again. Zhou Jingheng was invited to the White Moonlight painting exhibition. But throughout the event, he didn't give the other party a glance. Found a casual excuse to send them away. A friend by his side couldn't stand it. Zhou Jingheng, don't tell me you can't see Fang Yuqing. He wants to start over with you. I've done my best to bring you here. You need to do better. This is the right time, he's not married yet. I came here out of respect for our friendship. I don't have the intention you're thinking of. Zhou Jingheng ignored his friend's words. But strangely felt. The brushstrokes of this painting in front of him were very familiar. Whatever. I just thought it was a great opportunity. Don't want you two always missing out. Hui wouldn't agree to me being with someone else. I will never betray him. At this moment, there was a commotion behind him. I said not to display it. Why is my painting still hanging here? Sorry. We didn't receive any notice about the plan. I am the author of this painting. I don't agree to display it. I have the right to take it away. It's very clear. I see this guy is just here to make trouble. Don't talk nonsense with him. Beat him and take him out. Hui knew he was stupid. Couldn't out-talk them. Circling around like this was just delaying things. In a hurry. If he ran towards it, he could take it down. In the rush, someone appeared and caught him in a hug. Almost fell. He looked up wanting to see. What did the passerby who came to his rescue look like? His gaze met those eyes and immediately stopped. The other party was not calm either. The moment their eyes met, Zhou Jingheng's heart almost jumped out of his throat. Hui. Hui, is that you? A trembling body was pressed down slightly. Zhou Jingheng held his breath. His long silent heart started to beat joyfully. The person under him seemed to stay still. After a brief moment, with an undeniable gesture, he resisted Zhou Jingheng's touch. I am not. You've mistaken me for someone else. Noticeably, all attention was drawn to the face covered by the right hand. His right hand. The right hand of a painter. It didn't have the familiar burn scars. 2 years ago, Zhou Jingheng, out of unjust resentment, deliberately poured boiling water on the little fool's hand. He had never endured such grievances. It must have hurt a lot. Yang Qingxian interrupted his memories at this moment. Aren't you Tang Weixi's classmate? After hearing this, Hui spoke while hugging the painting and turned to run. Yang Qingxian. The dawn painting earlier was drawn by him. Zhou Jingheng took a step forward, grabbing Hui's hand. And said he would find someone to help him remove the painting. But Hui had to go with him. Just as Hui was at a loss, Yang Qingxian stepped in to stop Zhou Jingheng. Can you calm down a bit? I know he looks a lot like Hui. But the real Hui is already dead. These words stimulated Zhou Jingheng's nerves. He clutched his head in pain, screaming. Hearing the noise, people quickly reacted. They stepped forward to take him to a rest area. Hui glanced back. Was he really Zhou Jingheng's first love? Better than me in every way. Then, hugging the painting, he ran away. This time, no one could stop him. Zhou Jingheng could only watch helplessly as he ran away again. The bright eyes that had just let go now turned into a stagnant puddle. Lifeless. Scene shift. Zhou Jingheng returned to his old home. Greeted by his sister, Zhou Jinhue. You finally came back. While his father sarcastically remarked, I thought, you would never step into the Zhou family's door again. Zhou Jingheng wasn't one to be bothered by his father. No need to worry about me. I'm just here to get my things. Hearing this, his father got angry. Treating the house like a hotel, coming and going as you please. Zhou Jingheng ignored him. Zhou Jinhue, still a girl of about 10 years old, was scared to the point of tears. What's wrong with you? You act like this as soon as you come back. Is it because Dad forced you to meet the young master of the Tan family? Zhou Jingheng smiled bitterly. If one more person asks me that, I'd also like to know what's wrong with me. Don't overthink, kid. I'll come back to visit you often. While I'm gone, keep Mom's room tidy. Zhou Jinhue nodded. Brother, I know. You didn't have no feelings for that fool. But he's already dead. You're still alive. Life goes on. Mom in heaven wouldn't want to see you like this. Cheer up. Don't make us worry anymore. He never expected that one day his sister would comfort him in such a childish way. Zhou Jingheng felt a mix of absurdity and sorrow. Jinhue, don't call him a fool. Zhou Jinhue didn't understand. Then what should I call him? Call him sister-in-law, he's your only sister-in-law. Jinhue, I never faced my heart. Now it's too late for regrets. I hope you can take me as an example. Don't be a puppet in others' hands. Leaving the old house, Zhou Jingheng returned alone to a dusty home. Yang Qingxian spoke on the phone, crazy young master, did you get a blow or something? Should I take you to a temple to burn incense and ward off evil? Stop talking nonsense. Tell me your investigation results. Jiang Hui attempted suicide due to depression a month ago. After waking up, he improved significantly. Encouraged by his family, he participated in building the Dream Monument. Zhou Jingheng grasped the key in this. A month ago was exactly when Hui's accident happened. How could two painters have identical brushstrokes? Scenes from the exhibition replayed continuously in his mind. The familiar little movements. The eyes he had seen many times. Zhou Jingheng was surrounded by madness. Making him stand still, reviving the long-lost hope and faith. Returning to his body. There wouldn't be so many coincidences. Dismissing all impossibilities, the only remaining truth could be. Jiang Yi Hui must be Hui Hui. The universe is nothing but a finger. Who isn't a guest? This slap is for you, Zhou Jingheng, to know. Our little Hui Hui is not easy to deal with either. The story is just beginning. Yi Hui sneezed coldly. Are you catching a cold again? It seems to have cooled down today. Go back to your drawing room. Yi Hui rubbed his nose. No, just a little itchy. Then he sneezed 2 more times. Yi Mang flashed over. That means someone far away is thinking of you. The more you sneeze, the more they think about you. Don't talk nonsense, here's the comic avatar you wanted. See if anything needs fixing. Yi Mang held the drawing board, smiling brightly. Wow, brother, your drawing is amazing. If you take online orders, such high-quality drafts, we'll definitely earn a lot of money. Yi Hui remembered this. The Jiang family is of average condition. His family has paid a lot for his illness. It's time he did something. Besides, digital drawing is different from hand drawing. It's not easy to leave a distinctive personal style, so it's unlikely to be recognized. At this moment, Mother Jiang called the 2 little devils. Who can help Mom carry the food? Jiang Yi Mang flashed and ran out. Just as Jiang Yi Hui was about to stand up, there was a knock on the door. Who could it be? Everyone is having dinner at this hour, neighbors wouldn't come by now. Jiang Yi Mang, carrying the soup, said, it might be my classmate. They said they'd visit our house in the next couple of days. Then I'll open the door. The moment Yi Hui opened the door, what you saw was a sharp jawline. And deep, handsome eyes and eyebrows. Finally, I found you. I found you. Yi Hui's eyes widened. This person's familiar yet strange hug frightened him. As if to drag him back to hell. The realm of ghosts. Yi Hui wanted to break free. But the other party had improved. Finally, I found you. Won't let go easily. These words triggered a nightmare deep in Yi Hui's heart. Who would like a fool? Do you want to die again? Yi Hui opened his eyes smartly. Bang! A slap landed on Zhou Jingheng's face. Zhou Jingheng didn't expect to be hit. Raised his hand to rub his cheek. At first, it just felt hot. Such a commotion naturally alarmed the Jiang family. Yi Hui, what happened? Then, Zhou Jingheng's face came into Jiang Yi Mang's view. Zhou Jingheng. What is this? Is this a hidden camera show? Yi Hui's mother stepped forward. Asked Zhou Jingheng, sir. May I ask if you need something? Zhou Jingheng stepped back 2 steps and apologized. I knocked on the wrong door, then thought to himself, can't be hasty. Can't scare him anymore. Finding him is enough. Finding him means taking him home. Jiang Yi Hui hurried back to his room. Hiding under the blanket, trembling. I'm not a fool. I am Jiang Yi Hui. He kept repeating this in his mouth. At this moment, his phone screen lit up. It was a message from an unknown number. If an apology worked, what would be the need for police? Feelings that come late are deeper than grass. They are ashes that understand the first truth after being reborn. If you really treated me well, how could I have died? Yi Hui and Yi Hui sound the same. The meanings are different. One is the bright light of the moon in the sky. The other is dust flying on the ground. The book reconnects after Zhou Jingheng finds him, bringing a huge psychological shadow to Yi Hui. So he sought out a psychologist for consultation. I met an old friend who came to find me. He might feel guilty coming to see me. Or maybe he's being forced by his family. But I don't want him bothering my family. Nor do I want to see him again. The psychologist thought for a moment and asked, what if? I mean, what if? What if he is sincere? Not because of guilt. Not because of his family. Simply because he wants to. Would you forgive him? Yi Hui, after hearing this, shouted emotionally, impossible. Then he held his head and cried. Silently questioning in his heart. Zhou Jingheng clearly knew I was dead. If he was sincere, then how could I have died? The doctor saw his pain. And finally gave advice, based on your description. The other party's personality is very strong. Next time, remember to make it clear to him, it's over. And don't meet again. At night, while letting out the geese, Yi Hui was blocked by Zhou Jingheng, who apologized for the scare he caused a few days ago. Yi Hui also spoke unusually. I also hit you that day. I apologize to you too. Seeing Yi Hui willing to talk to him, Zhou Jingheng felt as if he had caught it. The opportunity to bring his wife home. Zhou Jingheng told Yi Hui. The drawing room at home is all set up. You will like the sunroom. The dolls are washed and placed on the bed. You can hug whichever one you want to sleep with. There's also a new nanny at home. She cooks well. Especially good at making sweets. So you don't need to go out for desserts anymore. You can have them at home. These words indeed made Yi Hui feel a bit nostalgic. But thinking of the psychologist, he still held back. Saying, "You have the wrong person. I am not the person you are looking for." A silence lasting nearly a minute. Yi Hui thought Zhou Jinghen was contemplating new ways to torture him. He suddenly heard a chuckle. "So who are you?" As if it was a joke. "My name is Jiang Yi Hui. Not the person you are looking for." But he wasn't finished. His mouth was grabbed by Zhou Jinghen. Pain from his jaw. Letting the final words disappear between his lips and teeth. "Look at me and say you are not Yi Hui. Look at me and say you are not Yi Hui." Although his body was restrained, his heart was not at ease. I am not the Hui Hui you are looking for." 5 consecutive denials. Should have angered him long ago. "I am not the ashes you are looking for." Not at all. Yi Hui and Hui Hui sound the same. The meanings are different. One is the bright light of the moon in the sky. The other is dust flying on the ground. He is dead. Dead in that cold hut on the mountain. Dead in the coldness and his sword's glare, 3 years like a day. Heaven gave him a chance to start over. Not to watch him repeat the same mistakes. Not to make him a joke again. "My name is Jiang Yi Hui. Not the Hui Hui you are looking for." He aggressively threw off his restraining hands. But Zhou Jinghen didn't give up. "Not the ashes you are looking for." Impossible. "What about your reaction at the exhibition? And why did you draw me?" Yi Hui had anticipated these questions. So he answered one by one. "In a public place like an exhibition. Being blocked by a stranger. Any normal person would be worried and scared. That painting was influenced by my sister. She is a fan of yours. When I entered the competition, I accidentally drew a line similar to you. Later, feeling it might be a violation, I voluntarily compensated and withdrew the painting." A more perfect answer than before. Leaving Zhou Jinghen momentarily stunned. A choked throat looked at him. Eyes wide open. Crushing the last bit of faith he had, inadvertently. He hugged the person into his arms. "Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. No matter what you become, I will recognize you." Finally, he let him go home. Not doing anything foolish like tying him up. As expected, Zhou Jinghen was blocked by Yi Hui. So he called his best friend, Yang Qingxian. Asked him to help get Yi Hui's new contact information. Also said Yi Hui doesn't admit he is Yi Hui. Yang Qingxian enthusiastically hit the armrest. "What did I say? A person admitting would be a ghost. I confirmed for you before. Not the same. Just looks a bit similar. The name is also a bit similar. Even you don't believe me. You two can't fight it out. You say it's one person." Zhou Jinghen usually would have been angry long ago. Now it's like he didn't hear. "It's him. I can't be wrong. Is Zhou Jinghen blind or crazy?" Yi Hui was dragged to the crematorium and burned. Zhou Jinghen laughed. "You might as well consider me crazy. I have no choice. Without Yi Hui, even breathing seems redundant. If this is really a dream, I'd rather hold my breath. Never wake up again." He couldn't believe it. Zhou Jinghen truly fell in love with a fool. To retrieve a small bit of ash, Zhou Jinghen sent a message to Yi Hui early in the morning. "Are you up? Did you have breakfast on time? Are you going out today?" Yi Hui felt very confused after reading it. Since when did Zhou Jinghen become so difficult? Clearly, everything was denied yesterday. Jiang Yimang, seeing his brother's sad face, just came over to hear the reason. "Who is it? If you don't want to receive the message, just block it. Can you block it?" This suggestion hit Yi Hui's blind spot of knowledge. "Brother, you should go out more often. Staying home all day is really boring." "Alright, Zhou Jinghen." The two brothers discussed making money again. First, they set up an account and avatar for Yi Hui. Unexpectedly. Soon, there was a fan named Little Bear Hum. Yi Mang said it's impossible. We haven't officially posted any work yet and already have a fan. The result was a message from the other side, praising the avatar designed by Yi Hui as beautiful. Not a zombie fan. The other side sent a small rose. Yi Hui inexplicably felt shy. Roses symbolize love. How can they be given randomly? On the other side, in the car, Zhou Jinghen looked at the mobile phone, lifting the corner of his mouth. "As long as you like it." Yi Hui couldn't escape. At this time, Shaolin in the front row couldn't help it. "Are you listening to me? If we don't return to the crew, the director will hang himself." "Stop, I was injured at work. Shouldn't I rest?" "But you've been resting for half a month. The scar on your forehead has long disappeared. If you don't return, the reporters will spread rumors about you being a diva. You played a big card. Zhou Jingheng took back the phone. Coldly said. Tell the director to shorten my part to 2 days. After this movie ends, all other notices are postponed. And he told himself. Nothing is important now. Work can't be used to neglect Hui Hui anymore. 2 days after the delivery. Teacher Zhou finished the movie, and immediately ordered Xiao Lin to book a plane ticket for him. Completely ignoring Xiao Lin's complaints, he hasn't rested for 2 days. Because he had been chatting with Yi Hui using the Little Bear account. He learned that today Yi Hui wanted to release fish by the river. So, his heart was no longer here. At this time, Fang Yuqing arrived. Zhou Jingheng was stunned for a moment. Then frowned. A beautiful dream. Broken is not honey. Why are you here? Can't I come? Zhou Jingheng, congratulations on finishing your new movie. I brought you some low-sugar snacks. All things you used to like. Zhou Jingheng interrupted, I like sweets now. Your drawing room is so busy, you don't need to find me. Zhou Jingheng, do you really not understand me? Or are you pretending not to know? Fang Yuqing rarely spoke so directly. People change. Sorry, I already have Yi Hui. I can't give you any answer. This sentence was not just for Fang Yuqing. Or was it for himself? Fang Yuqing thought, he was still angry about other things that were not said back then. I'm sorry for making you wait so long. I will never leave again, okay? If you still blame me for abandoning you back then for the future. I can wait. Zhou Jingheng withdrew his hand, I don't wait for you. You don't wait for me either. I don't know why others change their minds. And change several times. But for me, only once. To him is the final stop. There will be no change in the future. 3 years is a short time. It was really long for him. The little fool who tasted him finally got tired of waiting. Waved and left without looking back. Tasted him finally matured. Finally saw his own heart. Let go of everything. Chased after the little fool who hadn't gone far. Fang Yuqing, I will wait for him to come back willingly. You should look forward too. Fang Yuqing watched Zhou Jingheng's figure fade into the distance. His face became gloomy. Zhou Jingheng. You really love that fool.